Bonjour, new moons. I am Josie the Mustang, the Afro-Latina Regina George of Witches, and you are aligned with the frequency of the Lua Nova podcast. And today's episode, I hope you're somewhere cozy. I hope you have on your Hello Kitty pajamas. I hope you have your favorite drink, which will come into play in just a moment, because I am doing a very special collective reading. I want you all to start working on your intuition and listening to your intuition. So intuitively, I'm going to be giving you 3 options for today's collective reading. And I know I've gone over this in an episode you'll hear in the future, but we are going to be switching up some things with collective readings a little bit. And let me not drag this on. Let's get started. There's a few things I want to get into, so feel free to skip all of this if you want to just get right to the collective reading. I'm not offended by that. Also, I want to say a quick apology for the amount of ads that were in the last episode. Hopefully there won't be that many in this one. I have no control over that, and sometimes the ads don't even make sense for the type of brand that I have. And I'll never understand why it's so difficult for these servers and networks to understand that a self-help podcast and someone who teaches about manifestation can be run by an Afro-Latina witch. I have no idea why that just blows their mind. That everyone who teaches about manifestation does not all look the same and we do not all have the same beliefs. And so oftentimes my podcast gets pushed to the bottom because I am Afro-Latina and because I'm a witch, and I don't care. But I do want to say that the ad placements are a little too heavy sometimes. I don't like it, but nothing I can do about it. And I do like the server that I'm on. Thank you all to those of you who do listen to the ads so that I can get those few cents. Thank you. My brand was built on helping you just because I want to. It wasn't built on making money first, ever. There's nothing wrong with making money from your spiritual gifts so long as you're not scamming anybody. Which brings me to the first thing that I want to address. I'm not going to give shine to anybody who is negative or by name. I'm not going to call them out by name. They're not getting any clicks, views, etc. from me. But those of you who know who this is, you'll figure it out. There is a so-called spiritual TikToker who talked about on her platform that self-love is a scam and that everything related to self-love practices is a scam. And I would like to ask my audience when I have ever scammed you. I'll wait. Okay, I didn't think so, because last time I checked, none of those teachings that I've given you, especially related to self-love, I've never charged you. And one thing that I rely heavily on, something that you can see a lot in Virgos in general, authenticity is very important to me. If I don't agree with something, I'm not going to teach it. If I don't believe it, I'm not going to teach it, and I'm not going to say it on my podcast. So no, there's nothing about self-love that is a scam. If you lack self-worth, self-esteem, you don't like who you are, then that is your problem. You don't get to push those beliefs on somebody else. And one thing that I have an issue with within the New Age spiritual community, those of us who teach about manifestation, those of us who teach about the astrology, etc., is many of you are really quick to point fingers like a Bible thumper. You have issues with Christianity in particular. And I'm only going to mention Christianity and not the other religions because we see this a lot with the fake Christians, not the real Christians, where they're so bothered by people who don't believe like they do. They're so bothered when you don't practice the way they do. And so here you are, a so-called manifestation coach. Here you are, a so-called astrologer. And yet you are real quick to tell other people that they're wrong for how they practice their beliefs. You sound like a Christian. Yikes. And again, I'm referring to the fake Christians, not the real ones. There are actually real Christians who listen to my show all the time because they understand that we actually do have a lot of similar beliefs. I believe in source. I simply call God by a different name than they do. Just like people, sidebar, let's compare this to people who say that Afro-Latinos are not black. Who said that we're not black? So our ancestors were simply colonized a different way than yours. Our ancestors were simply taught a different language than yours, and somehow that makes us not black? Okay. I understand you will come across Afro-Latinos, etc., who don't embrace their blackness, just like we come across Latinos, Nicky Jam, Anuel, who hate themselves. That is not our problem. That doesn't make you less Latin, doesn't make you less black, okay? So that's what I mean. Your beliefs are yours. Stop trying to push them on other people simply because we don't think like you. This particular creator, although they have posted many funny things, I have noticed more and more lately that their posts have become more and more negative. So I blocked her. She had to go. She had to get off my timeline, because when you don't like you, I don't want that negativity on my timeline. I'm in no way telling you to go block this person if you know who I'm talking about. I'm simply saying to be careful about who it is that you choose to work with and who it is that you choose to listen to, because it is obvious when somebody lacks confidence and self-esteem. Somebody like myself who has a lot of self-esteem and really likes themselves. The reason why I know that I'm good at my job and people like me are good at our job is because we actually enjoy doing it, and is because we actually enjoy being who we are. We enjoy our background. We enjoy our culture. We enjoy seeing you thrive, because the more that you thrive, the more that I thrive. It's one big old circle. I want to see you do well. I love when I hear that you manifested something that you always wanted based on something that I said. I love that if you listen to my free collective readings that I do every single week, that they resonate with a lot of you. That's why I do it. You know, yes, obviously I have a brand. Luanova is a whole brand that I make money off of. This is my job. However, I wouldn't be doing it if I didn't believe in it. Choose your own beliefs. Think for yourself. And there are many people like me who want to see you thrive, who want to see you do well. And that's who I recommend listening to. Okay. That's who I recommend learning from. But you're going to do you. I just wanted to mention that, especially to people new to spirituality. The next thing I want to talk about are the attacks on people who are devotees of La Santa Muerte. Now, I am not referring to attacks from fake Christians. I'm not referring to any of that. And fake Christians don't realize that their entire religion is based on paganism, is based on witchcraft, is based on stealing from other people's religions and practices. So anytime that any of them attack you, just laugh. I promise, just laugh. Because even something as small as blowing out a birthday candle, something like the Easter Bunny, something like Christmas trees, something like even that Christmas is December the 25th when it most certainly shouldn't be. All of this is based in paganism. Okay. So now I've noticed the real Christians, they know this, they're aware of it, they're fine with it. And I've had some very deep talks with these people. I like that a lot of my listeners reach out to me now. Always feel free to, sidebar. But let's talk about with people who are devotees of La Santa Muerte being attacked for a statue. There is a statue at Home Depot. Go out and get it if you want it. And it is called the Grim Reaper statue. Well, fun fact, guys. What does the Grim Reaper represent? Death. La Santísima is the saint of death. Okay. And so does she look like the Grim Reaper? Yeah, she does. She also looks like the Scream mask. All of these things all look alike. Okay. If you decide that that works for you and that is how you connect with La Santísima, who am I to tell you that you're wrong for that? Now, I am going to say, as somebody who has a strong connection with La Santísima, as a child of hers, that I recommend adding a scribe. There is a well-known, I want to say she's more of a YouTuber than a TikToker, who talks about her connection with La Santísima and how she got to that point. And she mentioned the same thing, that no one's telling you not to buy the statue. If they do, then you should really side-eye them. But these statues have to have been made. And I think that a lot of you are missing the point, that it is just a statue. That it is just that. You see, I have an image that was submitted to me of La Santísima, and it's pink because my altar is pink for her. And this person remembered me saying that. And it is beautiful. And if it was real, it would most certainly go on my altar. And I love it. You will eventually see it in an upcoming TikTok, by the way. And that image resonated with me, not because she has the scythe, not because she had the owl image, but because of the entire image. The entire image spoke to me because I thought, well, this is how I see her. Your connection with any deity is yours. So long as you are not trampling all over a closed practice that you are not allowed to be a part of. I'm talking to those of you who refuse to understand that no, you cannot just be calling yourself, a child of a particular Orisha, that no, you cannot just be a part of hoodoo and voodoo, which are closed practices. No, you can't, especially certain people with certain ancestry. No, I'm not even gonna go there. But what I am saying to you is when it comes to open practices like working with La Santísima, just do your homework. Okay. Don't let somebody attack you for your beliefs though. This statue in particular is a Grim Reaper. That is even what it is listed as, a Grim Reaper. It appears to be a feminine Grim Reaper. So you get why people were like, this is La Santísima. And she is holding the sands of time. La Santísima, you will oftentimes or almost always see her with a scythe, with holding the world. She can be holding the scales, and you will see an owl. Mine, my larger one, my pink one, has the Mexican coins on the front. Mine has been dressed in Mexico. And so she is, and also keep in mind, those of you who are not Mexican, that I'm going to say this as somebody who is Mexican and whose great grandmother was Mexican and a practitioner. Please know what you're talking about. Please learn about this practice and understand it. Do not disrespect it. Okay. Just like you don't want anybody disrespecting your beliefs, you don't disrespect theirs. If you don't know something, that's okay. Learn. That's okay. And there are many devotees whose entire TikToks and social media platforms in general are devoted to their deity. And I love that. There's one that I can think of. I want to say her name is Yaya. I can't remember the rest of her name, but, and that's like, you're like, you know how many Yayas there are, girl? Do you know what that means? I do know what it means, but that's a part of her name I remember. And she teaches about the Orisha. It's okay to learn these things when it's a closed practice. To learn it is one thing. To be indoctrinated into it is a whole other. Okay. And I say this as somebody who is indoctrinated into a practice that I do not speak about on my show. But I wanted to address these things before we get into the collective reading. I think I covered everything. If there isn't, and it'll probably be on another episode in the future. Okay. I record all of my episodes in advance now. So the next thing that I want to get into is the collective reading. This is how it's going to go. And in an upcoming episode, I mentioned this. I'm no longer going to be picking a random zodiac sign. For time purposes, it's cutting too much into the show. Also, the Lua Nova Oracle deck will only come out once in a while when I feel like I need to get it. Also, I mentioned another Oracle deck that I thought about buying. Once I took a look at it, it really wasn't for me. I think it's called the Moon Oracle, but I don't think that's right, because the Moon Oracle, I actually recently saw that and it was something different. I think it's also something related to the moon, because it had the moon on the front, but, it wasn't really for me after all. So I'm actually not going to be getting it for you all. I was going to get it so that I could read those on the show. It didn't really fit. So from now on, you will just get the regular collective reading. I'm not going to pick any particular amount of cards. I'm just going to intuitively go with the message that I think you need. And let's get started with that. So here's what I would need you to do. First of all, take a deep breath in. Exhale the bullshit. And I want you